Let's start by measuring off some of the ingredients that we're going to need. So what I'll start with is measure the weight of the mangoes. You don't really need to do this because it's not an exact science, but I always just like doing it and writing it down. So I have a reference for later, because of course not all mangoes are the same size. And sometimes it helps just to get a better idea of why things turn out the way they do and what you might want to do to tweak it. So I have 630 grams of mango here. Actually, I don't know if that's clever because I am still going to take out the stone, but I can check the weight of the stone later. And what I'm also doing is writing it down. I always keep a little bit of a diary of what I'm doing and the exact amounts that I'm using, because you will just find that things vary a lot, and I like to really understand what is happening. So then if I can see that I did something differently, I can also kind of track back to how that changed the material that comes out at the end. The second thing we're gonna weigh, and maybe I'll use my precision scale for it, is you want to take about a tablespoon or maybe 10 grams, that's about 10 grams of starch. And because I have 2 mangoes, I'm gonna double that amount. Yeah, so one tablespoon is 10 grams. Great, it's still true. Okay, a tiny bit more, 20 grams. And then what I would like is a bit of vinegar. For this I would like 1 tablespoon per mango, so in this case 2 tablespoons. And for vinegar, I think a tablespoon weighs about 8 grams. Kind of spilling a little. Spilling a lot. Let's do that again. It's about a tablespoon. Yeah, it's about 8 grams. So 8 grams of vinegar per mango that you put in. Okay. And again, this is not super exact, but you know, you want to find your way around these ingredients a little bit. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I will cut my mangoes, because of course they still have a big stone in the inside. I'm also going to take off this little piece where the branch was before, because that's going to be a bit tough and hard. I don't think that will puree, so I'm going to cut it off. I will, however, save all the skin. You can choose not to do that. I always really like the bit of like, I don't know, texture it gives. It gives a bit of a pattern because they have different colors, and you get more of a speckled material, which I quite enjoy. So I'm just going to do it like that. Right, so I chopped up my mangoes, and before I threw them away, I weighed the stones and that little pit that I cut off, and subtracted it from the weight of the mango. So the stones weighed 150 grams, which leaves me with about 500 grams of mango meat. So, you know, an average mango is probably 250 grams, so then you kind of know the ratios. Then the next thing we're gonna do is puree the mango. And at this stage you can add a little bit of salt. And you might have to add a bit of water as well for this to puree. So I'm just gonna see if I can puree it without any water. But if not, I'll add a bit of water just so I can get like a paste. And we can always, we're gonna cook it after, so if it gets a little bit too wet, you can still evaporate some of that liquid afterwards. I pureed the first batch and already put it in a pot on a low heat, so it can start heating up a little bit. And well, because the mangoes are so ripe and juicy, actually it's quite easy to puree them without adding any extra water, so that's nice.